Next thing we're going to talk about is turtle, which is here basically. When you're down, you're tucked, and you might well ask yourself, why on earth would you want to end up there? Well, you don't really want to end up there for the most part, but you're going to end up there. A couple of examples. If we're here and I'm shooting in for a double leg takedown and he sprawls on me, well, basically at this point, I'm in turtle. If I'm trying to do a shoulder throw in judo, we're here, and basically I end up in turtle. We already covered how you might use the turtle to avoid having your guard passed, or how you might end up in turtle when you're escaping from side mount. So it is a position that you'll end up in again and again. So if you find your opponent is turtled in front of you, you want to get some weight on him right away. I see a lot of people, they're here and they're trying to set up their attacks and they're trying to set up their transitions. But if I don't have any weight on him, he can just roll away, put me in his guard, stand up, grab my leg, and it's not any good. I need to put weight on him. So typically, you might do that with your ribs here, right? There's not much weight on this knee right now, and there's not much weight on this foot. Most of it is on his body. If we're head to head, if we're this way, and I'm going for my attacks, this is bad. Most of that weight is being carried by my knee and by my other knee. If I'm here, however, my knees are off the ground and I'm driving on my feet. Now I'm a bridge. I've got weight on my feet and I've got weight on his back, and I'm not carrying any of the weight on my knees. So one common drill that you can use to put weight on your opponent, or to learn how to properly put weight on your opponent, is to put your solar plex in the middle of his back and circle around here. I'm not using my hands. I'm not putting my knees on the ground. All my weight is here. But that's just a development drill. That's not actually how you're going to move to his back. Because, okay, come onto my back and do that. If Don were to do that in real life, okay, come back and circle around this way so they can see. If I circle this hand out here and drive there with my hand, let's do it at full speed here. I can look like an all-star wrestler. So basically, in order to move past his arms to get to his side or behind him, I have to get past his arms here, right? So let's say I'm on the front. One of my favorite ways to do this is to take my knee and drop this into his armpit, here. And then I spin on that knee. We're here, and I spin. It also gets my knee in behind his arm. On the other side, we're here. To some extent, you can also do that with your hand. You can block in the armpit here and circle there. All that really is designed to do is to stop his arm from coming out here and blocking you as you run behind. So basically, when he's turtled, I've got 3 general ways that I can align my body to his. I can be head to head. The classic way to control him here is with a front headlock where you have one arm and his head. Wrestling has a million things that you can do from here. This is head to head. Moving on to his side, where his back is going like this and I'm going like that. That's sort of classic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can also go behind here and pinch in with your knees and control them there. That's more of an MMA type thing where you're here and you're hitting them and you're hitting them and you're hitting them. I'm going to talk about being on the side because this is my bread and butter and it's most people's bread and butter. Could you turn a little bit here, please, Doc? When I'm on the side, if he's got his elbow and his knee, I'm going to take one or the other knee and drop it in here and bring it into the floor. I can do this and bring it in, or I can bring it in with my top knee. Either way, I want to start invading that space and separating his arm out from his body. I can grip onto his upper body in a number of different ways. Let's just say I've driven in with my top knee here. I can control his lapel here. Sit up, please. Here. Okay, go back down. and his near sleeve. This is a good position. From here, I have a fair bit of leverage, and I can actually just start bullying him over this way if he's unwary. Come here, please. A lot of people like to cup the foot here or grab the pant leg here. That makes it a bit more difficult for him to sit out and move around. But my personal preference is the under and over because it dovetails so nicely with the material from rear mount. So I'm going to take this hand and go over. I'm going to take my other hand and go under his armpit. Sit up, please. So you can see here that I'm clasping my hands on his chest. I have to be careful here a little bit by not giving him too much of this arm. Because if I give him too much, he can roll me over and I've lost this valuable position. But if I'm here and I keep my elbow fairly high and I push his face a little bit and I'm aware that that's a possibility, then I should be able to have the weight distribution not to get caught in that. It's important to keep in mind that the goal of me having him in turtle is twofold. Either I want to choke him out here, or maybe arm lock him, or take his back and choke him out there, or maybe arm lock him. But I'm attacking his neck here, mainly, and I'm attacking to get rear mount. Those are my two big options. So now, let's say you've stabilized the top position in turtle here. We're here, I've got the over-under, I've got my bottom knee in, it could be my top knee, this technique doesn't matter so much, and I want to progress, I want to move to the next stage. Well, here's a good way, it's a very powerful way to get to rear mount. I'm here, I'm going to push his head slightly this way. It's kind of a can opener type motion. Because he's a guy, once I push into him, he's going to push back. I push into him. As he pushes back, I'm going to hop this foot in, and I'll show you this from the other side too. I fall back on my side, and I kick my leg underneath. Here. Now, depending on whether it's gi or no gi, depending on how he's defending, I can choke him out right here, or I can work to get the second hook in. Oftentimes, as I'm attacking with this second hook, and he's defending with his arms, I can start attacking the choke or other chokes. If we're here, I'm fighting for this, he's blocking my foot. I can start going to a variety of lapel chokes and catch him. I'm going to show that from a different angle so that you can see how the legs work. Okay. So here we are. We're on the side, I've got the over-under, and I'm pushing into his head. When I sense that the time is right, I'm going to do my slide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this leg out and pop that leg in. Basically, no, come here please. See his shin, I'm going to put my shin along here. I'm going to do two things at the same time. I'm going to pull him this way and I'm going to kick this leg under. I'm going to go here. Except I won't be lying on my side holding his belt. I'm going to be here. I'm going to push into him. This bottom hook takes precedence over this top hook. And then I start fighting for here. If he's silly enough and gives me that as I'm trying to get the hook in, I can choke him out with just one hook. Or ideally, I get the second hook in as he switches back up here. And now I choke him out and get rear mount at the same time. To show what this movement is, I'm going to show it without a partner. We're here, and I've got the under over. Excuse me, I've got the under over. The bottom hand grabs the top wrist. I'm going to put my hands on the ground so I can show the movement. The movement is here. Here, here. So if we do it on Don, we're here, under over, bottom hand grabs the top wrist, push into him. Here, here, get rear mount. The companion transition to that is if I can't pull him towards me. Maybe his base is too good, he knows what's up, I'm here, I've tried, and it didn't work, and he manages to get back onto his knees. That's okay. I am keeping my sternum glued to his chest. As long as I'm here, I'm going to be pretty much okay. So I'm here, and it didn't work. I'm pulling, I'm pulling, I'm pulling. I can jump over his body here and roll him. I keep on rolling him until I get the original hook that I wanted, my left hook, in. Let's show that from a different angle. We're here. I wanted my left foot in, but I tried, it didn't work. So instead, I'm going to jump over and roll him right over top of me. You see that this left foot is now in. Now my right foot can go in, and I can start working for the rear mount and the attacks from the rear mount. Another option you should be aware of when you're fighting someone in turtle is that you can roll them over and pin them in one of the other positions. Here's a turnover that doesn't work too often in judo, but because guys are so paranoid about you taking their back, in jiu-jitsu it works quite well. I'm here, I'm going to capture his arm here. I'm going to capture the bottom of his tricep. I'm going to take my other hand and come through and also have it on the tricep. From here I'm going to suck this in and drive with my chest, basically to side mount. If I want, I even have a choke here. Let's come back. We're here, come across, and drive. I come underneath the head here. I have his arm trapped. I can choke him out right there. Another simple turnover when the guy's turtle is to grab the material at the knee and grab the material at the far sleeve, right near the elbow. From here, I'm going to push into him a little bit, and I'm going to pop up. From here, I simply stand up, pull him this way, and knee on belly. It's this kind of motion. It's almost like a clean and jerk, or a high pull, and you're standing up, you're using the power of your legs and your back. It's not high tech, but if you catch your opponent with this, it's very effective. And now you can go to the dreaded knee on belly technique. So now, what if you end up in turtle? What do you do? There's a saying in jiu-jitsu, survive first, win later. So here's how to survive. If I'm in turtle, I don't want my knees to be all narrow. Because if I'm here, I have no base side to side. If Don pushes me here, I'm going to fall right over. So I do need my knees to be a bit apart to give me some lateral stability. On the other hand, I don't want them so far apart that it's easy for him to put the hooks in. That's no good either. So I have to find the happy medium there. Also, I don't want my elbows out. Because if my elbows are out, like this, I'm not protecting this space. I want my elbows in here. I'm going to take my elbow, and I'm going to put it just on the inside of my thigh, here and here, and then drop down here. This is my basic position. My hands are up by my throat. My hands are here protecting. Come here. I'm going to be quite high here to show. Most of the time he's going to be attacking with his right hand, coming around like this. This is prime real estate here. So I'm either going to be here or here. I'm going to put two hands on that side, cover up my ear, and stick my hand in there. If he moves around to the other side, I have to readjust and protect that side and defend against this arm, mostly. So we are knees a little bit apart, elbows inside, hands up, protecting here and here, or here. Just hoping to survive in order to set up your reversals and your escapes from that position. So I hope by now you recognize that if you're in turtle, if you're on the bottom, don't worry, not all is lost. There's ways to get out. Here are some of the ways to put your opponent back in your guard and to otherwise change the situation. If we're here, I'm protecting. I'm going to try and block his knee here. This is so that he can't come forward. If I don't do this and I start doing my move, he can just circle to the head. And I have to start again. So come back, please. So I'm going to try and control his knee. I don't want to reach out because now he can trap it between his legs and do nasty things to it. He can armbar it across his belly and do nasty things. So I'm just going to control it here. I am going to post my back foot. I'm going to post my back foot and I'm going to slide my top foot in here. Now it will be a scramble. He will try and get going, which is why I'm trying to hook here right away or grab. But if I don't get that and he starts circling, Again, push the head to make the time to put him in the guard. Without a partner, we're here. He's on this side. I'm going to control the near knee. That's so he doesn't go this way. I'm going to post my rear foot so that there's more distance for him to run around that way. From here, I'm going to bring my knee in here. Now it's a scramble. And if I have to, I go back to pushing the head. So one more time. We're here. I'm protecting. Control the knee, post the foot, step here, hopefully end up in guard. Now, the next move you need a certain amount of flexibility for and a certain amount of athleticism for, but it's maybe the highest percentage way to put the guy back into your guard from turtle. I'm going to go down here. Instead of turning into Don this way, like I did the other way, I'm going to turn the wrong way. I'm going to put my head out that way. From here, I'm going to take the foot that's far away from him and swing it in a big circle on the floor. We're here. And I end up in the guard. That move is kind of similar to some wrestling moves called a Granby roll, but here it is again from a different angle. I'm here, put my head away, and I roll over my shoulders. What it looks like without a partner is here. My opponent's on this side. I put my head away here, and I roll up onto my shoulders, put him back in the guard. Another really important move that you need to know from turtle is a sit-out. Anytime that we're head-to-head here, and I get the sense that he's reaching over my arm here, right here, or going over my arms with both hands and just grabbing my belly. At this point, I have what's called a sit-out. So we're here. I'm going to post my foot, and I'm going to try and elbow him as hard as I can in the armpit. Here. At that point, I turn back into him, and now I'm controlling his legs, pull him together, drive him over. So here's the movement without anybody. We're here. We're here. I feel him reaching underneath the armpit here. I post, and I'm going to sit out, and I'm going to elbow him here while looking up. And then I keep on turning and come in. So one more time, we're here. That elbow comes in. See how my head comes up? And I come here. At the very least, now I've got him underneath me in turtle, and I'm no longer under the bottom. One more way you can transition out of the turtle into a better position is like this. I'm going to be here, and I'm really going to protect the side that's on my opponent's, that's towards my opponent. I don't want to get choked. In doing that, I'm going to leave a bit of space here, and hopefully he grabs my wrist, or I grab his wrist. Now I'm going to tuck that down towards my belly, and I'm going to come closer to him, and I'm going to roll here. I keep on rolling here. I control the hips, and then I turn in and control him in side mount. From another angle, we're here. I'm super defending my left side. I'm leaving my right side open. I come and control the wrist. Now I bring my legs towards him. I don't just roll here. I try and scoop my hips underneath him and go here. I don't want to stay here. I want to keep on turning. If he grabs me around the neck here, I want to control the hips and gradually get chest to chest, pull this arm out, and now I've got him inside mount. That movement without a partner looks like this. I'm defending, leaving this open, capture the wrist, stuff it down a bit, hop my hips in, roll, come up and control the hips, gradually fight to side mount, pull that arm out, and stabilize the top position.